Hey everyone, welcome to season 2 of the zwsb.24 podcast. We are so excited to be back for yet again another season. I am Z and I'm here with my best friend, my sister Stephanie, and we are your co-hosts. And we're so excited to be here today. How are you doing, sis?
I am doing really well, sis. I'm so excited to come back for season 2 with you and the new things that we're going to do as we grow and we build ZWSB.24. So I'm excited to do this with you again.
Yes, I'm so excited as well, guys. This is literally fall time. So I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite seasons. Actually, it's the only really my favorite season here, but it's also a season of new beginnings. We have a lot of great new things to talk about this season. We have guests that are going to start coming up on our episodes. So we are so excited to share with you and so excited to get this season to go on. And so let's go ahead and kick it off. Before we get started with this week's discussion, we want to do something new here with you guys. So last season, we wanted to talk about something good, something that we wanted to share with y'all, which we always do want to share something good with you guys, but we have something new that we wanted to try. And so we have what's called a current event. So I'm going to let Stephanie share a current event with y'all, and we'll just kind of discuss about that. What's your current event?
So my current event is this. For those of you that are iPhone users that love Apple products, well, guess what? Apple is dropping their new iPhone 16. Now, if you're anything like me, I try to hold on to my phone as long as I can. So my phone right here, I've had this phone since 2020. Because they're so expensive, I typically buy the phone with the largest memory, and I try to keep it as long as I can. As long as I can hold on to it, I try to keep it. But that is the great news. So Apple is coming out with the iPhone 16, and there's going to be so many great features with it. So a longer battery time, more storage, better pictures, better resolution for the camera. Another great thing to go along with that. So it seems like what Apple is doing this time is that they are upgrading a couple other products along. So they are actually upgrading their Apple Watch. And sis, I know you and I kind of briefly
Yes.
Apple Watch. And so as soon as I heard about this update, I thought of Z. So what they're doing with the Apple Watch. So as you know right now, so I have the generation before this one of the Apple Watch. And so the Apple Watch actually measures your heart rate, which is really good. So if you are running, jogging, exercising, or if you're a person that has like an influx in heart rate or decrease in heart rate, excuse me, your watch will let you know. But the new Apple Watch is going to actually test for sleep apnea. I'm not
Oh,
sure how.
man. That
So
is neat.
isn't it? So
Yeah.
this is actually, I mean, this is groundbreaking technology. I know that typically Apple says that, with the data that it gives you back, that to please seek advising from a medical professional, of course.
Mhm.
But these features that are within the Apple Watch, within the iPhone, this actually has the potential to help people and potentially save people's lives. So I thought that was really cool. I have family members that definitely are in the process of being diagnosed with sleep apnea. So that could be
Mm.
something that could potentially help them. So I thought that was really awesome. Guys, let me just say this right now. I have one more Apple update to share with you guys. We are not endorsed by Apple. So Apple, if you're out there and you hear this, shoot
I
over
mean,
some.
really? Like, I've had Apple products since they first came out. Like, I had the actual first phone. I can't remember. That's how long ago it was. What was that, like 2006? Somewhere around those
Exactly.
2007? Like, it's been a long time. So I'm excited for these updates. I think, when would it have aired? Would have been like 2 weeks ago in September when they let out the release and what we were going to
Mhm.
expect from them. So I do get excited for those.
Mhm.
I want to see about this Apple Watch. My thing is, if there's one thing that Apple can change, I wish they would give us the option of having a different shape. Like, I get
Oh,
the features, but I always wonder, like, would it be nice if there was a round one? Because I think Samsung, or it might be another, yeah, it's round. And so I don't know. I mean, I wear like skinny bands. It looks more feminine anyways, but I have such a small wrist. I always wonder if I had a circular one, would that look better? But I guess with surface area, you probably can't see very much if you
Yeah.
had a circle versus like the squarish rectangular look. But that's exciting. You guys, I've had my phone. This is a shoot, I can't remember, a 13. Now I never get the Pro. I always get the smallest one because I really don't use my phone in a sense to store a whole lot. I usually kind of purge everything on like a USB-C and then put it on like a SanDisk to hold all my files. But for the purpose of this podcast, I'm noticing that I save a lot of files. So I probably will get the, not the bigger, like the Pro, I can't even know which ones they are, but the extra, yeah, the
Yeah.
Pro, the Plus, yeah. I'll probably just get the one below that and see about the storage because I always get the smallest one. Well, for one, they cost a lot.
They
Again,
do.
I usually change out my phone every 2 years, but this one I've been going for almost 3 years, which I'm actually very surprised. I'm usually on that every 2 year, but this time I just decided, to wait it out. So, but yeah, thank you for sharing that current event. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so for all those Apple users, stay tuned. I know they got a lot of different options, a lot of different colors too, that I'm sure that they're coming out with. So now we're going to go ahead and get into our topic this week, which is our first episode for season 2. And we're going to talk about what is your vision. And so as we get back into routine, now that school's back in session, we want to be able to set goals and utilize something that a lot of us might have, some of us don't, but a vision board. So let's talk about a back to school routine and how that looks like for you and for myself. So Stephanie, how does your back to school routine look like?
So, my back to school routine, of course, like I look at everything that we have going on. Both my husband and I, we work. He goes to work a little bit earlier than I do, and he gets off earlier. I go to work a little bit later, and I get off a little bit later. But the kids have to be in school every day at a certain time. So, with having that in mind, that's how I build out our routine. So, the kids, my son, who is 12 years old, he has a bedtime. So, his bedtime increased by 30 minutes. 9 o'clock is his bedtime every night.
Mhm.
So, along with that, I want him to get enough rest because he's growing, he's a preteen, he's going to be a teenager soon, and we know how teenagers sleep. So, that's one thing that I start with is our bedtimes for the kids. So my son, he goes to bed at 9 o'clock. Our daughter, she goes to bed at 8:30. So
Mhm.
in between the time that we get home, we have dinners. We plan our dinners. So I have a foresight of what we're going to cook, what we're going to eat. We have a leftover day. We have a day that we order pizza or we may get Chick-fil-A for those of you that have Chick-fil-A in the states that you're in. We do that. Or we have the kids pick, okay, we've had pizza this week. We've had Chick-fil-A this week. What do you want to try this time? So we actually incorporate, we ask each other, hey, what do you want to eat? Where do you want to go out to eat or order in from? I do easy meals. I think ahead, write all of that down and have it in my mind so that way
Mhm.
I'm not coming home from work, taking something out of the freezer or having to stop at the grocery store to decide what we're going to cook. So
Mhm.
that's been something that we've done a little bit differently because I know for me, I felt like I was having to figure out what everyone ate until I died.
Mhm.
So
Mm. Oh,
because really my husband, of course, he grew up in a more old-fashioned home where his
mhm.
mom thought of all that. She did
Mhm.
all the lunches, all the dinners, everything. So, naturally, I came from a home like that. My mom did all the cooking,
Yeah.
and, I did it for a while, and I said, "Hey, let's ask for help." So, that's another thing that I do. So, bedtimes, I decide what we're gonna eat, and I get everybody ready the night before. So the kids take their clothes out, they pack their lunch.
You're
I
good.
Yeah, I pack my lunch, and I get everything, like all of my work bags together, and it's in one centralized location so we can grab and go.
That's
So
really
that's a little bit of a back to school routine that I put together, just because, minutes add up.
they sure
And
do.
taking 10 minutes to pack a lunch, that could
Mhm.
be minutes that you can do something else with. Right now, what I'm wanting to incorporate into my back to school routine is me waking up 30 minutes earlier. So
We were just talking about this.
we were actually,
Yeah.
guys, I do not know why it's been so difficult for me to wake up at 6 o'clock. That is my goal. I want to wake up at 6 o'clock. I want to get myself ready, spend time, doing a devotion, spend time with God, and
Mhm.
get my mind right before I start getting the kids up. So that is my goal. That's what I want to incorporate into my back to school routine. So keep me in your thoughts and prayers about that. I heard if you do it consistently for 2 weeks, it becomes easier. So every day I tell myself I'm gonna start. So my alarm is currently set for 6 o'clock.
You gotta start though at some point, and then the 2 week starts.
I know, but it's so hard because the alarm goes off and then I just hit snooze. Like that little orange button on my phone, it's just like snooze every
Yeah.
time. So I'm really trying harder because I need some more time. I just do.
I get it. Yeah. So we're very similar. Yours is very much more structured for your back to school, but mine is similar. So, I have a college student, so that's kind of like one less child that I have to worry about because he's an adult. So he's kind of on his own. He's got his own rhythm and routine that he does. And so that's one less child now versus, last season was actually when my son had graduated from high school and, I'm busy doing all the things, but now I really don't have to do much for him. So even though I have 3 children in my home, because he does live at home, it's really, I only have to look after two now. Yeah. So I have now another high school student that just started ninth grade, my middle child. And he really, I mean, he's 14, so he is really self-sufficient, takes care of himself, so he's able to get things done. So my routine is a little bit different. He makes his own lunch. I make sure he does that. Now we don't make it the night before, probably should happen, but he actually gets up in enough time to make it in the morning. So I just make sure that there's enough groceries to do that. But I also allow him to buy school lunch because my son does go to a public school system. So there's lunch that's always provided if you pay. So I do have a lunch account that every month I put a certain amount of money in there, and he has the option to buy school lunch twice a week. That way he has an actual hot meal versus the
Yeah.
typical sandwich, or Lunchable. And I mean, I buy frozen foods, like frozen warm up type foods that he can take or leftovers if there's enough from dinner the night before. But he says the line is so long that he can barely get to it. So I try to give him the option, to
Yeah.
buy lunch at school, whether it's delicious or not. But he has the app so he can actually look in to see what they're serving that day and decide if he wants to. And with the 14-year-old boy, we don't have to iron clothes. He just throws on sweat. He wears athletic clothes all the time, which is fine. He's kind of different from my oldest. My oldest is the one that likes to wear the jeans and iron his clothes and things. My other one is just kind of laid back. He just throws on his Nike clothes or Champion and he's done. So he's easy. But my little one, my 4-year-old, for her, I do have to prepare. So she's a little picky. She doesn't necessarily eat school lunch every day. I usually have to pack it for her, but I do make it in the mornings. For me, I just want it to be fresh. But there are times where I ask her in the evening, like, what do you want for tomorrow for lunch? So if she says she wants dinner from the night before, then I'll make sure that I put it in the Tupperware because they do have a microwave at her school where they can heat up her food, or I'll in the morning I'll make her a quick sandwich with a side, some couple sides for that. But she's been going through this phase, which is completely adorable. Absolutely love it, but at the same time, it does take time, and I've noticed that over the last 2 weeks. My girl loves dresses. She no longer wants to wear jeans and shirts, and I literally just went shopping at Target and did like this huge order for the fall season for like long sleeve shirts and jeans and stuff. And she loves them, but she just doesn't want to wear them. She wants to wear dresses every day. And so I told her the other day, I was like, we can wear 2 dresses a week. The other days, you need to find something else to wear. So we usually pick them up the night before. Because if not, for about 5 to 10 minutes, it's the constant, no, let's not wear this. Let's wear this. And so, yeah, it's something else. But I mean, It's
It
okay.
no, it must be a girl thing because Zariah, she does the same thing, and she's been doing it for a while, so it
Yeah.
has not stopped. So I give her her bath at night,
Yes.
and we have to do the same thing. We have to go
Yes.
through picking out, and that's whatever you pick out is what you wear.
Yes.
And so and it is cute because to see them decide, because sometimes she'll just sit there and she'll say, I don't know if I wanna wear the gray jeans. I think I wanna wear black jeans."
Yes.
But so I got her these little just like a pom-pom, like,
Mhm.
headband. So it's like a little
Mhm.
headband with, like, 2 pink and, like, teal colored pom-poms. Well, we went to church this past Sunday, and she needed to wear those with her purple
Oh, you
dress.
have to. All the things, all the accessories. She
And, um, I was like, "But that's a match, sweetheart." She's like, "But I really love it, and it's so soft,
Yep.
mommy, and you got it for me." I'm like,
Oh,
"You
you
know
got
what?
it.
I
Mm.
will say this, when our son was very young, we were in the pediatrician's office, and while you're in the pediatrician's office, of course, you're waiting with your child, and back in that time, like, I really didn't scroll on my phone as much as I did now,
Yeah.
looking back 10, 11 years. But in the pediatrician's office, they had tons of brochures. And one of the brochures was talking about dealing with your toddler, something to that effect. I don't
Mhm.
remember the exact title. But one of the things that they talked about was outfits, like choose your battles. So if your child is wanting to choose what they wear, that's actually a great sign that your child is in their development. So they're
Yeah.
wanting to make decisions on their own. They're wanting to choose something on their own. That's a sign of their independence, and that's a sign
Mhm.
of development on schedule because that's what
Yeah.
toddlers do.
Yeah.
So they said if you picked out a red shirt, but your toddler wants to wear a blue shirt, let them do it.
Yes. It
You
it
know what
shows them individualism, it's healthy, it shows that they're being responsible and learning how to even when we find that doesn't coordinate because I'm the same way, because my daughter will do the same thing. She'll pick out like a tie-dye shirt, okay? And then there's these tie-dye, and I see it right now, these tie-dye leggings, but they're not the same color tie-dye. And I'm just like, okay, now you look like you stepped into the 70s. This doesn't look right together, but I just let her do it. And I find myself battling in my mind sometimes because I'm just like, I just need to let her do it. That's healthy, it's normal, it's okay. And eventually she'll develop that where she'll maybe she'll understand that this doesn't match with this, or maybe not. Maybe it's an eclectic way and that's her personality, and it's very healthy. But yeah, I have to do that. That's one thing that we have to do now for back to school because we are up in the morning spending 10 minutes to decide what we're going to wear, let alone we have accessories, headbands, bows, bracelets, necklaces, shoes, maybe a
shame
purse
get
today.
the bunnies.
I mean, right? So it's just like, okay, we gotta we gotta figure this out. But yeah, and then and then with back to school, guys, my middle child, he's really involved in band and basketball, so he's gonna pick up. So getting back into a routine definitely for my family. And then the other thing is too at back to school, getting back into a routine just with the family to make a specific day. So my family, what we do is we pick a day out of the week. We had to shift ours from Wednesday to Sunday evening just because we have a college student now to make time and get routines that we actually spend time with each other because now that school has started, I feel like, which is awesome, but like gears are going, like there's so much stuff going on that sometimes we have to remember to slow down and take time for our family. So, but yeah, no, thank you for sharing your back to school. I hope everyone here, I'm sure that you're going through the same thing. So leave some comments below. Let us know what you're doing. Help us out. Hopefully that we've given some advice to help you guys out as well. But alongside too, with getting back to school to a routine, we just thought it would be really great to mention this to you guys because we didn't do this last season. So with our podcast for ZWSB.24, we also have a routine. We have goals and we have our vision as well. And so we just want to share with you guys our vision for the podcast. This is something that Stephanie and I have talked about even before the podcast began. And it's something that we continue to talk about through our podcast, because we know that with every season, things change. And I don't mean seasons literally like, fall, winter, spring, and summer, just whatever we're going through personally in our lives as well, can affect our podcast. So we want to make sure that we have our vision, our goals, so that way we can reach out to you all of our viewers and our subscribers, and just let you know what our goals are. So please take a look right here at our vision board that we have here for you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for viewing that. I hope that when you took a look at it, that you kind of got to see some of the things that we just wanted to present and give to you guys of what our goals. And so we kind of want to discuss it. One of the things that we definitely would like to do with anyone who has a podcast, I mean, we want to get monetized at some point, that is right. We were just talking about this the other day, Stephanie, that we would love to. And it's not just to make money, it's to be able to continue to provide and share with the world of everything that we like to offer and give you guys, whether it's just advice or to just have fun, let you into our lives a little bit, but to be able to have some kind of income, to be able to, I don't know, travel, go somewhere so we can bring it back to you guys to share our experience with you. And then, of course, the other thing is that we showed on there is just our friendship. We want to share our journey with you guys. Like we said before in the last season, Stephanie and I have been together as friends. I call her my sister for 25 years. I mean, we met like when we were, I want to say 11 turning 12. And so, we want to share our friendship along there. And some of that is just having those journeys and those times that we hang out together. And so we want to, share that with you. And so, Stephanie, did you have any other type of visions or goals you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, the monetization, this is going to allow us to definitely bring more content to you guys, allow us to invite, participation of our subscribers so that we could do giveaways, try out new products. That's something that we have seen, other people that have podcasts and even people on YouTube, they try out different products, they give a review, they share that with you guys because, of course, like you can see something advertised on TV, but a consumer, someone that's buying it and trying it raw. So we want to do things like that as well. Along with that, going along with the journey, just having like a goal, like Z said, we want to set a goal for what we want in this podcast. So this podcast, we're documenting our journey as friends and our story throughout life. So we met each other, of course, as children, and then as we've gone through college and marriage and motherhood, I want to share that with you guys as well. So it's very important through everything that's going on, like Z said, that we set clear goals and clear expectations of what we want to do so that can launch us to where we want to be.
Yeah.
So just talking about that, I think that we also want to live in the moment. So a lot of what we do, we take it in, and we want to show you too, we're two working moms, wives, and it is possible for us to do all of this and have something that is a part of us that we can do, that we enjoy outside of work, outside of, being moms and being wives. Those are both amazing things, but we want to incorporate all of that and show you guys that it is possible too. And whatever we have, tried and proven, we want to share that with you guys too. So all of that, we're working on our vision board. We're working on these goals constantly.
And we're going to add to it. And we're going to keep adding to that because with our vision, I mean, we have to have room for growth, right?
Absolutely.
So there's going to be things that we were like, oh, let's go do this. Let's add this to it. And some things we might just take away and say, not for now, And the other thing too that I wanted to mention on the vision board was saving money. So of course, with anything that you do, we've talked about before in our last season about budgeting and saving money to be able to do things, but that also comes with monetization, right? And then also saving that money to put towards experiences. But yeah, setting those goals, living in the moment, and then planning for the future. That's very important because some things you can't just wake up and be like, I'm going to do this today. Like you have to actually look ahead and plan, for those. So the other thing that tags onto that is the importance, which I wanted to talk about this, the importance of setting goals and how we can make our vision, come to life. So for those, I'm sure that so short term, and this can be defined by anyone. It's whatever you think a short term or long term goal is. So for me, what I feel like is a short term goal is something that is obtainable in the moment right now that can happen. Okay. So it can be from now, maybe it's up to a year, whatever you set that short term goal is, but make it something that is obtainable. Like, for instance, just a personal goal of mine, maybe work out 2 times a week. It seems like it's something I can do. Now, I'm going to be honest, I haven't been working out for a long time. I have a condition with my knees right now. So I've been told by my orthopedic physician to not work out right now until I have that situation taken care of. But could I do other things? Sure. And I just haven't done that. I wouldn't say I'm going to wake up today and work out every day of the week. Maybe for some that works. But
Right.
for me, setting a short term goal like that, because when you accomplish that short term goal, it just gives you more motivation to do something else instead of being let down by something that you can't complete. Now, I'm all about challenge. I definitely think it's good to challenge yourself. But when you set a goal that's too hard, that it's not something that you typically do, you might set up yourself for failure. You might go into a state of depression, and then you just don't even want to even try to do that or tap into that again. So making short-term goals is important. And then of course, long-term goal, excuse me, is, something that may go over a year. It might be something 3 years from now, 5 years from now. But even with that, you do want to make it something that you can plan for the future, because long-term is for the future, and something that you can do and that's going to make you happy and successful. So, for our podcast, we have certain short-term goals. As we said before in our last season, Stephanie and I, we get together every year around our birthday. So it's that time, right, for us to start planning for it. And that's really a short-term goal, because so it's October now. That's so November, December, January, February. So about 4 months that we have to plan for that, for whatever it is that we decide to do. And then at some point, I know Stephanie and I are going to probably want to take a vacation overseas. We had talked about that before, whether it's for our 40th birthday or some other time. That's a couple years from now. So we can start planning for that, but we know that's a long-term goal. And what can we do now
Absolutely.
to make sure? And that's all about saving money, and making sure that we have that ability to do that. So did you have any advice to give for those short-term
Just
and long-term?
just really echoing what you said, short-term goals, make sure that they are goals that are attainable, and your short-term goals, excuse me, I just learned how to talk today. Um, Short-term goals, they're going to set you up for your long-term goals. So you can even have, for instance, one of my things, very simple, that I want to do, I want to start waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And my
Mhm.
goal is slowly to start waking up a little bit earlier. I would like to wake up after waking up at 6:30, I would like to move it to 5:30. Well, what is that going to set me up for? That's going to allow me to spend more time doing a devotion, spend more time with God, just spend more time, pouring into me so that I can, be better for my family, or planning something ahead of time. So that's a short term goal that can help me maybe accomplish something for our podcast, or maybe prepare myself for something that's coming up at work. So these short term goals, actually, believe it or not, they will prepare you to go in and complete those long-term goals. So right now, like Z said, our short-term goal, 4 months from now, we're going to be
Okay.
planning a birthday trip. So somewhere in between the beginning and end of February, really, we're going to plan our birthday trip. Our birthdays are about they're a month apart, really less than a month apart. We usually like to celebrate together. So what are we doing now? We're saving money, or we're planning to save money. We're planning to allocate time to do that.
Mhm.
And along with that, it's going to carry us into doing that for a long-term goal. Maybe it is that we want to go on a cruise together,
Mhm.
or go overseas. So your
Mhm.
short-term goals are going to set you up for your long-term goals.
Yeah.
So, like Z said, make sure it's something that you're doing that's attainable, because every goal you accomplish, just like a checkoff list, it's going to bring you
Mhm.
joy. It's going to really continuously catalyze you to check other things off of the list. And it's a win and it makes you
It
feel
is.
good.
It does make you feel good. I think I mentioned in the we talked about it in the last season. So I have a planner. I mean, I have a calendar on my phone, but I literally have a planner that every day I write what I need to get done that day, and I kind of mark it off. It's something about scratching it off just makes it feel so much better. Like I actually completed, and those tasks are goals, literally. So
Absolutely. Here
you
they
can
are.
think of goals as tasks. It's something that shows self-fulfillment, something that you want to accomplish. So as long as you plan ahead of time, whether they're short term or long term, and if you're able to do that, you can check it off and feel so great that you did it. And anything. It could be fitness, it could be something at work, could be something personal, like Stephanie said, it just waking up doing devotions. Maybe it's going to bed earlier so that you have the energy when you wake up, setting yourself up for that. Because that is something that I've struggled with. I am a night owl and I do not like waking up in the morning, but I know I gotta work. So I gotta get up. And I go to bed like 11:30 midnight and I'm up at 6:30. Now, for me, I naturally wake up after about 6.5 hours of sleep, whether I went to bed at 1 or 10 o'clock at night. I'm gonna wake up after 6.5. I don't know why my time clock is like that, but I do that. But I feel like if I was to go to bed a little bit earlier, then I can actually wake up and have time maybe to work out, 2 times during the week, or I don't know, maybe pray, and spend more time with God. Possibly continue. I do devotions while I'm at work. In between my calls, I do have a devotion that I do read, but maybe I can do it in the morning and find other things, maybe get ready for our next episode and be able to plan things for that as well and just have more time. So it is definitely important, everyone, to set those goals. Please let us know in the comments what you all do. I hope that the advice that we have given to you today as well, of the importance of having goals and having a vision board, whether that's like what we did or if you did the old school vision board with the cork board, with the, the little pins. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's great too. Do what you have to do, but set a vision for yourself. Especially with us starting this season, we just wanted to share that with you. So that way you knew what our goals were and our expectations of ourselves as co-hosts, and as well as just to be able to share all of that here with you guys. But I'm going to pass it back to Stephanie. I want her to let you guys know what to find out for this season.
So last season, of course, we did our podcast and we aired it every other Tuesday. Well, in season 2, you guys are going to get a podcast dropped to you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Season 2, our next episode is going to premiere for you on Tuesday, October 8th. So make sure to follow, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell to zwsb.24 on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're so happy to see you. We're so happy that you've joined us, and we'll see you soon. Bye, sis.
Bye, guys. Bye, sis.